Well, you thought I'd forgotten, and kinda did. Went to the cinema just there to see Spider-Verse again, and hot take: Spider-Verse is incredible, and if you haven't seen it, you probably should. It's got an incredible art style and pace. The jokes are amazing. Like, it's a great film. It is probably the best Spider-Man film. I know Spider-Man 2 fans out there will be a wee bit salty hearing that, but Spider-Verse is pretty good. It's pretty good. This isn't what this video is about, though. This is about what's on day 3 on Twitter. And I've been handy, and I've got my phone beside me. I'm just going to look at what's on. The Chase is what's on today. Six episodes? The Chase is 6, I suppose that makes sense, because it's the big finale for Ian and Barbara, and it's the last first Dr. Dalek story, I wanted to say. I remember watching The Chase. I watched the end of The Chase last year, because I saw the last episode, and that's when the chat went absolutely nuclear over Ian and Barbara leaving, which was a surprise. I didn't think the chat would be into Ian and Barbara, but they were the proper breakout stars of last year. Everyone's into it's probably just because of the London 1965 meme, and they are good characters. I'm not going to besmirch them or everything, but I'm genuinely surprised that people took them into their hearts in the way they did. But they did, so fair play to them. The Chase, I remember getting The Chase. I believe my dad got a Dalek tin, which had, was it the Dalek Invasion of Earth and The Chase in it, and it was VHSs, and we still have that tin, but it's incredibly rusty, and I'm a wee bit afraid to go in it in case there's something not pleasant living in there, because it's in the shed. That's probably should have led with that. It's in the shed. It's rusty. It's in the shed, and it's got The Chase in it. The Chase, of course, is incredibly hilarious because that's the show that Bradley Walsh is famous for. Of an evening, Bradley Walsh and The Chase. So I'm sure the chat will have great fun with that. I wonder if they had great fun with that last year. That was before Who came back. So we'll see. Chase is a banger. I know it's what people point to when they say people, they like the Daleks now because they're too kiddy or whatever, and they've lost their fangs, they've been defanged, but they get thrown about quite a lot in the Chase by animatronic Frankensteins and Draculas. I get what they're doing there. I get what the 60s were thinking, because we've got this newly iconic villain, so we're going to put them together with these proper iconic monsters that are no longer under copyright or whatever. I get you, but it doesn't come off well for them. And I feel like Ian and Barbara get a good farewell. I feel like that anyway. A lot of this video series will be me going, I feel like that's the case. I feel like that's what happens. But yeah, Chase, I'm not going to say it's my pick of the night because I've not actually looked at what the other things are. Chase, the Time Meddler, which is another classic. It's the first one to have another Time Lord, I want to say. I don't know if I've actually seen the Time Meddler, to be honest. It's another blind spot, but one I feel like I did at some point, but it's just completely passed me by. Definitely one to watch though, if you're into, deep lore cuts from the show. What else have we got? The Ark. Could not tell you what the Ark's about. Is that one with the hairy people? I know I'll keep saying that until we get out of the Pertwee. Until we get out of the Hartnell and the Troughton. Until we get out of Black and White, and then I can say it's not that meme reel with the hairy man and the eye. That's basically what I take away from the Ark. Couldn't tell you a thing about it. And then it's the Gunfighters, which I didn't expect to be anything, but then last year on Twitch it was quite a time. The Gunfighters has the soundtrack, it's this saloon girl singing about the Last Chance Saloon, and it's incredible. It's definitely meme worthy, which that's all you really want from these things. Definitely. I mean, there's so many episodes on tonight. This is quite a good variety of a night, because you got the Chase, you got the Time Meddler, you got the Ark, which could be anything. How many episodes is the Ark? The Ark, the Gunfighters is listed as 2. Maybe that's a thing. And then the War Machines. I like the vibe of the War Machines quite a lot. That's kind of code for me saying I don't know if it's actually good, but I liked it basically. I like the vibe of the War Machines because it's it's an early format test for their like Third Doctor stuff. Obviously, that's not what they were thinking at the time, but they're probably just like, how do we save money? All right, we'll just set it on Earth. We'll just film it. We'll film it outside the studio. But it's quite vibe. It's weird seeing the First Doctor in modern day London, and like the War Machines themselves are quite boxy in a proper kind of 60s kind of way. Because like it's weird because Doctor Who has the Daleks, and the Daleks feel great, even though they're like part of that kind of 50s, 60s clank clank you're dead robot monster kind of thing. There's such an iconic thing that they don't feel part of that. And then you see the War Machines, and they're these like boxes on wheels. I feel like their arms go like this. Maybe that's just my mind. Again, a lot of this series and a lot of my content in general will be me going, I feel like that was the case. I feel like that happened. And that's just the last Hartnell episode. Like, that's it. It's been like it's been 3 days. Like the pace on this schedule is breakneck. And good Lord, if you were taking it all in, which you should be, because this is what this series is all about. I don't know. My pick of the day would be Tomb of the Cybermen, though, because like you're getting your first, second Doctor episode. Like if you stay up until tomorrow morning, or maybe just watch it on the repeat, you'll be getting your first, second Doctor episode, which is apparently Tomb of the Cybermen. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was. Is that the earliest survivor? It must be, if that's the way they're doing it in the ratings, in the schedulings. I didn't realize that was the first earliest surviving. Second Doctor, that's quite weird. I know a lot of the episodes are missing, and I know quite a lot of his is missing, which is a damn shame because he's a fan favourite Doctor. I bloody love Tomb of the Cybermen. I feel like I saw it on, was it this Doctor Who at 40 on UK Gold? It was one of those UK Gold specials where they just had a Doctor Who day. Because I remember sitting down watching the omnibus formats forever. Probably wasn't forever, but it felt like forever because like I watched all of it might have been like the last few Pertwees through Baker and then into Davis. I remember like just it was every Sunday my dad would tape it and it was great, and that's how I got into Who. But I've forgotten what. Oh yeah, Tomb of the Cybermen. Tomb of the Cybermen was on one of the special days, and it was the one picked to show, to emphasize, to be like, this is what the second Doctor is. And Tomb of the Cybermen is fantastic. It's just a Mummy episode. Like, it's just like, we're doing the Mummy this week, and it's the Cybermen. They should get back to that. Like, classic, well, New Who doesn't really do, like, just run with the fact that Cybermen are the Mummy. Just do more Tomb episodes. Just do more, like, Cybermen are like a proper classic horror monster. Like, the more horror that you can cram into Cybermen stuff, the better, really. Because, like, they opened big with, like, kind of big action with Russell T Davis's Cybermen, and that worked in those episodes, but it's been many decades now. And, like, I know, like, Moffat tried a couple times, and he eventually hit it on the head with The World Enough in Time. That was a fantastic episode, especially the body horror bits, but like just lean heavy into the body horror. I know you have to sell toys, BBC Worldwide. I know that doesn't exist anymore, but I know you have to be toyetic, and I love toyetic things, and I will buy your toys. But see, with the Cybermen, just do horror things, and specifically just do like cheesy, rompy horror, and that's what kind of like Tomb of the Cybermen is. It's a banger. It's my pick of the night. I say that with kind of sadness, because like there's like at least one episode of Enemy of the World on after it. I didn't see Enemy of the World until last year, and not a lot of people had seen it before that because it was one of the missing episodes that turned up. And I meant to buy the DVD, but then it was just on Twitch last year. So that was one of the ones I specifically wanted to see last year and then did. And I was quite chuffed with it. Thingamajig, He Who Moans, put me onto it because he was talking about how they only had the audios before, however many years it's been now, but they only had the audios for so long, and it came off as quite boring. But then when you put the visuals with it, when they got the episode back, it was like really exciting and basically just a James Bond Doctor Who episode, and it super is, and it's like a proper like prisonery, like I don't know, is it meant to be modern day 60s? It's like very mod. Like a lot of Troughton stuff is very mod. And like Enemy of the World is incredibly mod. And it goes places. Like it goes really, like there's a bit in Enemy of the World where like I suppose I should give you context. Like Troughton's playing like a second character in Enemy of the World because the enemy of the world is this Bond villain. I want to call him Scaramanga, but that's specifically from Man with the Golden Gun. Scorpio, Hank Scorpio. He's basically playing Hank Scorpio, and like he has a villain plan, but then during the villain plan, it turns out he's got this bunker. Like spoilers, like, spoilers for the Enemy of the World, but he's got this bunker full of people that he's convinced nuclear Armageddon happened at some point, and they're the only survivors, and they're like down in this underground bunker, and like he comes down and he's like pretending to be this like savior figure that goes out in a jumpsuit into the nuclear waste to get supplies, and then he's getting them to work on earthquakes, and like he has these like proper 60s computers that he's using to make natural disasters happen across the world. It's great. It was a turn. I didn't see it coming. I was half asleep, lying on the couch watching it on Twitch. To be fair, maybe it was deeply terrorgraphed. God, I can't speak. But it just sort of happened when I was watching it. It's so hard because I love Tomb of the Cybermen so much, and I've seen it a billion times. So it's like my brain and heart pick of the day, but my soul pick would be that episode. Would be Enemy of the World. To be fair, I suppose I can rationalize it because it's only one episode of the world tonight. One episode of the Enemy of the World tonight. So I can rationalize it that way and say that no, and like Tomb of the Cybermen's my pick because it's not got that one episode where he goes down into the bunker and there's those people, and it doesn't go well for him because it's an episode of Doctor Who, and I feel like they just like defeat him by like hucking him into space. Hank Scaramanga. Doctor Who's good, basically, is what I'm getting at. That's what's on today, I'm pretty sure. Join me tomorrow when I hopefully have these videos up before the stream starts and they can be of some use to someone. But I was going to get like a wee screwdriver and do the like and we'd start, but didn't. Bye. I had a haircut, by the way.